Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nittai Gaur Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nittai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna and pranams, dear devotees. So, welcome to our reading sessions of Prabhupada Lilamrit. So, we'll begin the session now. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhayeva Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So लास्ट वीक हम लोगों ने पढ़ा था कैसे कि गौड़िया मठ में भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर के जाने के बाद कैसे वो दो गुटों में बट गया और एक जो ग्रुप था वो प्रीचर्स का था और जो दूसरा ग्रुप था वो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स का था और वो दोनों में ही गुटों में ही लड़ाई हो के जो पूरा जो गौड़िया जो मिशन है श्रीला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ने जो 64 मठ बनाए पूरे भारतवर्ष में और कैसे वो सारे का सारा इनकी आपस की लड़ाई की वजह से वो टूट गया और वो लड़ाई का रीज़न भी यही रहा कि उन्होंने जो श्रीला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर ने जो आदेश दिया था, जो इंस्ट्रक्शंस दी थी अपने शिष्यों को कि एक जीबीसी बना के आपस में कोऑपरेशन करके कि 12 लोगों की जीबीसी बनाइए और आपस में कोऑपरेट करके मिशन को आगे बढ़ाइए, उसका उन्होंने पालन नहीं कर पाए। उनको लगा कि ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है कि एक पूरा इतना बड़ा मठ बिना किसी आचार्य के चले। सो दे picked up acharya and then what do we say, hell broke loose there, like that. So now we'll read further today. Meanwhile, the war of the Gaudiya Mutt raged on. Both factions were ill motivated, and both debated from the instructions of the spiritual master. The very act of trying to determine the ownership of the properties through legal action meant the God brothers were disobeying the express desire of their spiritual master, as stated in his will. The litigation continued year after year, but the legal wranglings could not bring them together or purify them. One court ruled in favor of Ananta Vasudev, but then a higher court awarded 2/3 of Mutt's property to Kunj Vihari and 1/3 to Vasudev. Still, although Vasudev had fewer properties, he inspired more followers. He seemed to them more intent on reviving the preaching of the Gaudiya Mutt. But when Vasudev subsequently fell down from the principles of sannyas by going off with a woman, the groups broke further to pieces. Most of the sannyasis continued to maintain their principles, but many now left the jurisdiction of the two contending factions in disgust. Individuals formed their own ashrams, Gaudiya Mission, Chaitanya Gaudiya Mutt, and others. The unified entity of Gaudiya Mutt as an all India mission consisting of many temples and several presses and hundreds of devotees working cooperatively under one leadership ceased to exist. God brothers continued to uphold the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as they had received them from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. But because they were meant to work together, they lacked their former united potency. Also, we know कि जो बहुत बार हम इसका पहले भी बात कर चुके हैं कि जो गुरु की कृपा होती है वो गुरु की इंस्ट्रक्शंस के अंदर होती है, और क्योंकि ये जो डिसाइपल्स थे श्रीला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर के, बिकॉज दे डिडंट फॉलो हिज इंस्ट्रक्शंस, then the result was there is no potency in whatever they were doing. Illusions of proprietorship and prestige had superseded the spiritual master's order, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's cause, a worldwide movement for propagating Lord Chaitanya's teaching, collapsed. So that was the purpose of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's preaching movement, was a worldwide preaching movement. So we know how that was formed by Srila Prabhupada later on. Wherever Abhay went, he seemed to attract the company of his god brothers. Some followers of Sridhar Maharaj, the same Sridhar with whom he had worked in Bombay and whom he had always regarded as a good devotee and scholar, met Abhay at his place on Banerjee Lane and told this news to Sridhar Maharaj, who was then living at his own ashram in Mayapur. Sridhar Maharaj had disaffiliated himself from the factions of Gaudiya Mutt, but as a sannyasi, he was still preaching and was interested in publishing Vaishnava literature. He had wanted to maintain an ashram in Calcutta, so for 20 rupees a month, he rented from Abhay the 4 rooms on the second floor of number 7 above Abhay's chemical laboratory. ये हमने पिछली बार पढ़ा था कैसे कि Prabhupada set up, then one more time his whole setup in Calcutta, वापस आए और वहीं रूम्स लेके एक फ्लोर पे ऊपर रहते थे, एक में उनकी लेबोरेटरी थी और एक में ऑफिस था, तो 2 बिल्डिंग ली हुई थी उन्होंने किराए के ऊपर, तो उसमें से जो 4 कमरे हैं, छोटे छोटे कमरे, उन्होंने श्रीधर महाराज को दे दिए किराए के ऊपर. Now, whenever they came to Calcutta, Sridhar Maharaj, Puri Maharaj and Bhakti Sharang Maharaj based themselves there, staying in small separate rooms. It became a regular ashram for sannyasis and brahmacharis, and Sridhar Maharaj put a sign out front, Devanand Saraswati Mutt. Sridhar Maharaj establishment of a mutt in Mayapur with a branch in Calcutta was a response to the Gaudiya Mutt split. Like other sannyasis, he had been initiating disciples and preaching, not waiting for the outcome of the litigation, with its continued appeals and counterclaims. Abhay was glad to encourage Sridhar Maharaj and the others who joined him at his little ashram. Here, Abhay and Sridhar Maharaj and his followers could remain aloof from the warring factions and continue and together pursue their plans for spreading Krishna consciousness. तो वो दोनों अलग अलग फैक्शन से, प्रभुपाद भी क्योंकि वो तो मठ में थे नहीं, तो he didn't take any sides, and Sridhar Maharaj also later when they split, then he also stopped taking any sides. तो ये दोनों और जो बाकी पुरी महाराज, भक्ति शारंग महाराज आते थे, बैठते थे, तो ये प्लान करते थे कि कैसे जो चैतन्य महाप्रभु की शिक्षाएं हैं उनका प्रचार किस तरह से किया जा सकता है. The sannyasis cooked in their separate kitchen, performed their puja, and held morning and evening kirtans and lectures. Abhay remained with his family, taking his own meals and performing his own puja, but he often went to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam with Sridhar Maharaj. From his roof, Abhay could see the towering steeple of his spiritual master's building, the Gaudiya Math of Bagh Bazar, its ownership now contested by bitter factions. Abhay would often accompany Sridhar Maharaj and his assistants at preaching programs where he would play mridanga. And when Sridhar Maharaj fell ill, Abhay led the others devotees on preaching engagements, performing kirtan, playing mridanga, and giving lectures on Bhagavatam. Sridhar Maharaj. We did not see Abhay as working very hard for making money, nor did he seem very rich or to have a lot of liquid funds. He was attracted more to the spiritual side of affairs than to his family affairs. He never discussed business prospects with me, whether the business was up or down, or whether he was planning to do this or that. Monetarily, he did not have sufficient funds for giving any to the mission. Abhay began to think seriously about writing Vaishnava literature. His spiritual master had seemed very pleased and had told the editor of the Harmonist, whatever he writes, publish it. Business profits, if he could somehow expand them, could go for printing books in English. As his spiritual master had said, if you ever get money, print books. You remember this is the discussion he had with his spiritual master at the banks of Radhakund. Certainly, the Gaudiya Math was not going to do it. Kunj Vihari had sold Bhaktisiddhant's printing presses to offset his legal expenses. No, Abhay would have to continue on his own, maintaining his business and simultaneously trying to write and publish. And that was also the prescription of Srila Bhaktisiddhant. It is better that he is living outside your company. When the time comes, he will do everything himself. So in one of the meetings, when devotees or the मठ के जो ब्रह्मचारी थे उन्होंने भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर को ये सुझाव दिया था कि why he is living separately, and in Bombay I think it happened in Bombay that he should join the mutt. Then that time Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said it is better he stays outside. When the time comes, he will do everything. It was in 1939 that Abhay wrote Introduction to Gita Upanishad. It was a short piece, but it signaled his intention to take on the task of one day translating Bhagavad Gita into English with commentary. Of course, there were already many commentaries in English, but most of them had been written by impersonalists or others who had not delivered the original spirit of Gita, the spirit of Arjun on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, hearing Bhagavad Gita directly from Lord Krishna. Abhay knew, however, that he could present Bhagavad Gita in proper spirit by writing an English commentary based on the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and the disciplic succession. So the Bhagavad Gita जो हम लोग पढ़ते हैं उसमें क्या खास बात है, क्या जादू है, क्योंकि it is based on the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. जो चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जो शिक्षाएं हैं उनके बेस के ऊपर वो जो है टीका प्रभुपाद ने लिखा है और वो परंपरा में भी है. Second, so he began. Whenever he could make time, he would write. Although a strict grammarian would find faults in his English composition, his meaning was always clear. ये प्रभुपाद लिखते भी हैं भागवत में और वैसे ही बोलते हैं कि there may be some त्रुटिस but the meaning should be clear, the essence should be clear, and the essence seeker would have no problem understanding these books. In his introduction, Abhay reflected on the time when he was a young school boy. He attended a lecture, Vidya Ratna, the jewel of education. The theme of the lecture had been that God does not exist and could not exist. If there were God, he would certainly have appeared on the earth to put an end to all religious rivalry. But since God had not obliged man in this way, we should banish all thoughts of his existence from our minds. The audience, Abhay explained, consisting only of so many young boys, did not delve deeply into the subject matter of the lecture, yet the majority, impressed by the arguments, carried away lofty ideas of godlessness and thus became agnostic at home. So this is what happens when the philosophy goes away. Then next generations they become agnostic. Agnostic का मतलब कि you don't care. You know, God may be there, is there, but वो उनका और हमारा कोई आपस में कोई लिंक नहीं है. Like this, you don't care whether he's there or not there. आप अपना काम करते जाइए. Like this. Abhay had not been satisfied with agnostic conclusion because I had been trained by my father to be engaged in the worship of Shri Radha Govind. But as a result of the Vidya Ratna lecture, I was experiencing some mental conflict between agnosticism and the existence of Godhead. Later, having heard from his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Abhay understood that the personality of Godhead exists in every sphere of activity, but we do not have the eyes to see him. Abhay wrote, even if the Lord personally manifests himself on earth, the quarreling mundaners will not stop their fighting and look upon Godhead or his representative due to ignorance. कि अगर भगवान, जो लोग बोलते हैं भगवान कहाँ है, कि भगवान स्वयं भी प्रकट हो जाए, कलयुग में ये हालत है, तो तब भी लोग पूछेंगे कि आप प्रूव करिए भगवान है, कि आप भगवान है, कुछ जादूगर नहीं है, कौन है? This is the birthright of individual soul by the grace of God. Bhagavad Gita is a true jewel of education. Bhagavad Gita is a true jewel of education. प्रभुपाद जो ट्रांसलेट भी करते हैं राजविद्या, so he doesn't say he translates the Bhagavad Gita 9.2 Rajvidya. He says it is the this knowledge is king of all education, Rajvidya. And in the Gita, Lord Krishna declares to the fighting people on earth, here I am, do not quarrel. The agnostic who had spoken of the jewel of education had been blinded by the jewel and therefore could not see and appreciate the personality of Godhead, which means they appreciate the teachings but not the person who is speaking it. Thus, he had gone on to convince others to become so-called jewels also. Following his spiritual master, Abhay displayed an aggressive spirit for confronting all opponents of pure theism. So this was what was famous for Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that he would he would cut the Mayavad philosophy and any other which is not speaking pure Vaishnavism to cuts and pieces. And Prabhupada, he had the same mood he developed. In responding to his spiritual master's order to develop into an English preacher, Abhay was not simply making neutral scholarly presentations. He was willing and ready to fight, whether against modern agnostics or Vaishnavism, old traditional enemy, Mayavad, impersonalism. Although few scholars taught the way of surrender to Lord Krishna, as espoused in Bhagavad Gita, almost all respected Bhagavad Gita as presenting the essence of all knowledge. So ये चाहे जो भी कमेंटेटर थे जो टीका लिखते हैं, so they may they may not espouse the surrender to Lord Krishna, but everybody accepted that this is the essence of all knowledge. The Gita, therefore, was a perfect vehicle for confronting those who misrepresented God and religion. Because what is so special about Bhagavad Gita? Because चाहे वो वैष्णव हो, चाहे वो मायावादी हो, कोई भी हो, even the so-called materialists also, they accept Gita as an authority. So if one were to write a proper tika on Bhagavad Gita, which is accepted by everyone, then it's a good preaching tool to convince others based upon Shastra. The Gita was a challenge to the agnostics, apotheosist, anthropomorphist, impersonalist, henotheist, pantheist, and absolute monist. Although there were already more than 600 commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, they had been written by persons with an inner hatred for the personality of Godhead. प्रभुपाद इच्छा द्वेष समुत्थेना, वहां भी प्रभुपाद कई बार बड़ा हैरान होता था शुरू में कि द्वेष मीन्स enviousness, but Prabhupada translates hate. Because what is two things? Ichha means that I wish to enjoy separate from God, and dvesh means why Krishna is, why he is God, why him. Prabhupada used to say, why not him? Sometimes he would get angry. Somebody would say, Prabhupada said, why not him? Why are you saying why him, but I am saying why not him? So dvesh, that hatred, towards, or the enviousness towards Krishna, that he cannot be God. And therefore, they were imperfect. Such envious persons, Abhay wrote, have no entrance into the real meaning of Bhagavad Gita, inasmuch as a fly cannot enter into the covered jar of honey. A fly can only lick the outside of the bottle, cannot taste what is inside. So similarly, जो लोग भगवान को नहीं मानते हैं या कृष्ण को के प्रति उनके प्रति faith नहीं है, then it is very difficult to enter into the inner understanding and meaning of Bhagavad Gita. Abhay described Indian culture as an almost impassable ocean due to its depth of thought and apparent mixtures of conclusions. But in this book, Abhay declared, I will establish that Krishna is the absolute personality of Godhead by referring to available records of scriptures which are recorded history of Indian culture and thought. The sannyasis at 7 Banerjee Lane were impressed by the scope of Abhay's thought and intentions. So, हम सोच सकते हैं कि वो he is a businessman. That time he's Abhay Charan. He's an initiated devotee, but he's running. He's a householder. और जो मठ है वो पूरा जो उनके गुरु महाराज का वो छोटे छोटे खंडों में बट गया, और कैसे वो 2-3 सन्यासी उन्होंने घर के पास लिया. But he's making those grand plans, for preaching and writing a tika on Bhagavad Gita, even at that time. As it was customary to award a title to an especially worthy Vaishnav according to his qualities, Bhakti Sharang Goswami wanted to confer upon Abhay the title Bhakti Siddhant, because he was devotee, his devotion was very high, and he was very good in philosophy. So they proposed that he be given the title Bhakti Siddhant. Sridhar Maharaj, however, thought it inappropriate to give Abhay the same title as their spiritual master, and he asked the Abhay's title to be changed to Bhakti Vedant. So the title उनको पहले दिया, Bhakti Siddhant का दे दिया. उसके बाद श्रीधर महाराज के कहने के ऊपर कि गुरु का भी टाइटल सेम है, so it looks inappropriate, so they changed the title from Bhakti Siddhant to Bhakti Vedant. Bhakti means devotion and Vedant means end of knowledge. Abhay was grateful. The title combined the devotion of religion with the scholarship of the most rigorous philosophy, as passed down by the scholarly followers of Lord Chaitanya. He appreciated the sincere gesture of his god brothers and accepted the title as a further commitment to his spiritual path of preaching Krishna consciousness. Abhay continued regularly associating with Sridhar Maharaj and discussing with him Srimad Bhagavatam. Abhay encouraged him to preach widely, although Sridhar Maharaj was admittedly more the scholar and rather shy about going out and preaching. On several occasions, Abhay tried to convince Sridhar Maharaj to go with him and charged Gandhi and Nehru as to why they weren't following the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Another fruit of the spiritual association at 7 Banerjee Lane was a book called Prapanna Jivanamrita, compiled by Sridhar Maharaj, a collection of verses from various Vaishnava scriptures, including excerpts from the works of Rup Goswami. It was divided into 6 chapters according to the 6 divisions of surrender. Abhay, along with the sannyasis of the Devanand Saraswati Mutt, financed the publication. Thus, it was published as a joint effort by the friends. Hare Krishna. So, this one section of is over. So now a different section will start. So which we will do next time. So we saw in today, we read how things were happening at a frantic pace in the life of Srila Prabhupada, that time Abhay Charan, and how he was responding to those challenges in his own manner. So इसीलिए बोलते हैं भक्ति को अप्रतिहता. भक्ति को अप्रतिहत इसीलिए बोलते हैं क्योंकि it cannot be stopped or challenged by any material circumstance. That's why it's called aprati. Ahetuki means it is not done by any cause. Bhakti comes from bhakti. And apratihata means that it cannot be stopped by any material cause. So that we see simply in the life of Srila Prabhupada, whether it is the earlier days of his struggle in India, when his spiritual master left, then his efforts of trying to preach, run his business, and then opening ISKCON, and then many challenges which will come as ISKCON opened and expanded and flourished. That we see that nothing could stop his that, and the result was that Krishna says, "Ye yatha mam prapadyante." Because he had so much desire, then Krishna also reciprocated, and the Krishna consciousness got spread. Forget about India, but all over the world, as Prabhupada, 70-year-old plus person, circled the whole world 14 times in 12 years, planting Krishna consciousness. The beach, जिसके बारे में पढ़ रहे थे, Bhakti Lata beach, he planted in 108 places all over the world. That's what he did, and the result is today that we see how in the whole world Krishna consciousness is flourishing like anything. From 108, we have now become 650 temples all across the world. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So thank you so very much for coming together to read this wonderful book together. So we'll end the session now. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhu vayevacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरि हरि बोल. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.